If you don't want to spend your life broke, stressed, and stuck on the same financial hamster wheel, your first goal should be simple. Build your first 100K. And the first 100K was the hardest to reach. Once you reach it, your money starts working differently, your options expand, and building wealth becomes much easier. So in this video, I'm breaking down the 8-step roadmap I would follow to reach my first 100K. Step 1, find your pain. The very first thing to do is eliminate everything that numbs you. Ask yourself, why do I want to reach 100K? Maybe you hate your job. Maybe you're tired of struggling with money. Maybe you want to give your family a better life. Whatever your reason is, don't ignore it. For me, I hated corporate America. The toxic environment, the long 12 or 13-hour days, and feeling like I was spending my life building someone else's dream. That frustration became fuel. It pushed me to want something of my own. I started watching TikTok and YouTube videos about success, money, entrepreneurship, and people becoming rich. And for a few minutes, I felt productive. I felt motivated. I felt like I was making progress. But I wasn't. I was consuming motivation instead of taking action. It's subtraction. Remove the content, habits, distractions, and people that constantly pull your attention away from your goals. Because when you stop numbing yourself with comfort, the gap between where you are and where you want to be becomes impossible to ignore. And that discomfort can become the fuel that drives every other step toward your first 100K. Step 2, cut the right expenses. The next step is simple. Cut your expenses. And there are 2 big reasons for this. First, spending less gives you more room to take risks. Second, it gives you more cash to invest and eventually turn into additional income. Now, I'm not telling you to cut every little thing that makes you happy. Keep the iced coffee. Keep the occasional dinner out. Keep the things that make life enjoyable. Because the journey to 100K is going to take time. A simple rule is the 80-20th principle. A small number of expenses usually account for a huge portion of your total spending. For most people, those are housing, transportation, and food. Housing is usually the biggest one. I commuted 2 to 3 hours a day for years just to live at home and save money. If that saved me even $1,000 a month in rent, that's $12,000 a year staying in my pocket. Meanwhile, some of my co-workers were spending $2,000 to $3,000 a month on luxury apartments just to look successful. You don't need to look rich while you're trying to become rich. Next is transportation. Instead of spending $600 to $800 a month on a new car payment, insurance, and other costs, look for a reliable used car that you can eventually pay off. Use carpool or use public transportation. Even saving $300 a month on transportation gives you another $3,600 a year to invest. Then there's food. I bulk bought groceries from Costco and meal prepped every Sunday. My lunches cost around $2 to $3, while some of my coworkers were spending around $18 on lunch. That's a difference of roughly $15 a day. Do that 20 times a month, and you're saving about $300 a month or $3,600 a year. And that's the goal. You're not cutting expenses just to have a bigger bank balance. You're creating cash flow now so you can use that money to build active income, invest, and eventually create passive income. Step 3, find the hidden time. Time is money. If you want to make more money, you need more time. Most people blame their 9 to 5, but that's usually not the real problem. I built my YouTube channel while working 12 to 13-hour days in corporate. So instead of blaming your job, look at your schedule. With a standard 9 to 5, you have 2 potential 4-hour blocks, 5 to 9 a.m. and 5 to 9 p.m. You could unlock 4 extra hours a day by using one of those blocks, or potentially 8 hours by using both and working weekends like I did for a year. That could give you 20 or 40 plus extra hours every week to build a side hustle, learn a valuable skill, or create another income stream. And yes, it's going to suck. But remember the pain from step 1. Use that pain to push through. Once you find your extra hours, protect them. Because those hours are about to become one of your most valuable assets on the road to your first 100K. Step 4, max out your 9 to 5 first. You need active income before you can build passive income. Employers commonly pay just enough that people don't quit. A 3% raise is often less than inflation, meaning you're effectively getting paid less every year. So do two things. Have the raise conversation with your boss. Research market rates on Glassdoor or Indeed first, and bring a folder of your accomplishments. And if they say no, consider job hopping for more money, a better title, or more responsibility. That uncomfortable 15-30-minute conversation could be worth tens of thousands of dollars. Step 5. Build a second income stream. In business, you get rewarded for taking the right risks, but you can only take those risks when you have time, money, and low expenses. That's why the first 5 steps matter. Most people start by picking a business idea and then trying to force themselves into it. Instead, find something that fits you. Take 3 things: what you enjoy, what you're good at, what people will pay for. Where all 3 overlap is your profit zone. For example, maybe you enjoy video editing, you're good at it, and businesses are willing to pay you $500 to $2,000 a month for your work. That's the sweet spot. The goal here is to find a skill or business that can create another source of income. It doesn't have to replace your job overnight. Start with your first $100, then $1,000, then $5,000. Finding your profit zone is only half the battle. The real challenge is actually starting and pushing through the boring work that most people quit when things don't happen immediately. Because the more income you can create outside your main job, the faster you can reach that first 100K. Step 6. Turn active income into passive income. More income alone won't make you rich. You have to turn that income into assets. You can earn $5,000 a month, $10,000 a month, or even more, but if you spend everything you make, you're still starting from zero every month. Think about it this way. If you make an extra $1,000 a month and invest $500 of it, that's $6,000 a year working for you instead of being spent. Now imagine doing that for several years while your investments continue to grow. That's how you turn active income into long-term wealth. You don't need to start big. Even $5 or $10 a day can build a habit. For example, $10 a day is about $300 a month, or roughly $3,600 a year. Keep doing that consistently. Increase the amount as your income grows, and let compound growth do its job. For beginners, broad index funds and ETFs can be a simple place to start. You can start with a small amount instead of waiting until you have thousands of dollars. Your paycheck is the engine that creates the money. Your investments are what help that money keep working after you earn it. Step 7. Avoid lifestyle inflation. This is the most underrated step. I know someone who landed a $250,000 job offer and immediately bought a BMW and started apartment hunting for a penthouse before her first paycheck. Compare 2 people who both go from $60K to $120K in their late 20s. One keeps living like they make $60K and invests the difference. The other upgrades their apartment and car to match the new salary. By 40, the first person has hundreds of thousands invested. The second may have nothing or even debt. It's a small gap at first, but over 10 years, it's the difference between retiring at 45 or working until 85. Just set a rule. Mine was to only increase my spending by 10-20% of any raise or bonus and funnel the rest into investments, retirement accounts, or my business. It comes down to one question. Do you want to be rich or do you want to look rich? Step 8. Push through to critical mass. It doesn't feel like it's picking up speed until it reaches a certain size. In finance, 100K is that size. If you invest 15K a year at a 10% return, you'll hit 100K in about 5.4 years. But 80% of that comes from your own contributions, only 20% from market growth. After 100K, though, things accelerate. 200K takes 3.5 more years. 300K takes 2.6. 400K takes 2.1. And by the time you're going from 900K to a million, it only takes about a year. And now 68% of that million comes from the market, not your contributions. Getting from 900K to a million is nearly 6 times faster than getting from 0 to 100K. That's why the first 100K matters so much. If you're currently working toward your first $100,000, tell me in the comments. What What's the biggest thing stopping you right now? Saving enough each month, unexpected expenses, or just staying consistent? I read every comment. And if this video helped you, the next one covers what to do after you reach your first $100,000. Because once you hit that number, your strategy starts to change. So if you want to keep building your money the right way, subscribe and stay with me for the next step.